Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Global. We'll get you top stories from India and the region. I am Tanvi Taneja. And for news from the rest of the world, I'm joined by my colleague in London, Stuart Smith. Hi, Stuart.
Hi Tanvi, it's 11:30 a.m. in London and 12:30 p.m. across Central Europe. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Taylor Swift responds to the knife attacks in northwest England that left 3 girls dead. National leaders try to prevent escalation in the Middle East, and an update on the Seine pollution situation at the Paris Olympics. But first, back to you for the headlines.
Multiple landslides in the southern Indian state of Kerala kill at least 89. 116 people rescued as search operations underway in Wayanad. Indian Army pressed into service. US launches diplomatic effort to avert a full-scale war between Israel and Hezbollah. Giorgia Meloni of Italy calls on Israel to not fall into the trap of retaliation. Protests against Nicolas Maduro spread in Venezuela. Organization of American States to hold a meeting as Latin American leaders reject the poll result. And on to Paris Olympics. The men's triathlon postponed to Wednesday as pollution levels in the Seine River remain too high. So in India's southern state of Kerala, a massive landslide left at least 89 people dead, scores injured and hundreds trapped. Besides, 126 people have been rescued so far and are under treatment in different hospitals. 2 teams of National Disaster Response Force, including 2 helicopters and 4 columns of army, are assisting State Disaster Management Authority in carrying out search and rescue operation in the Mundakai Hills of Wayanad district.
When this information was received about the landslide in Wayanad district, we already had a team in Wayanad district for the pre-monsoon deployment. This team was immediately rushed to the spot and it started its rescue. Besides, the ongoing rain is proving to be a bit of challenge, but we are continuing with our total might and with our total commitment.
Army's engineering group is also reaching Wayanad to build the alternative logistic system. 200-member strong army contingent is pressed into action in the landslide affected areas. A naval team will also join the rescue operations. The Indian Navy's river crossing team is reaching Edimala base. It's reaching from the Edimala base. The state government has declared official mourning on July 30th and 31st in the state. Meanwhile, the Indian Met Department has issued red alert in 8 districts, warning of extreme heavy rainfall, and orange alert for 7 districts and a yellow one for 2 districts of the state. Union Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to Chief Minister of Kerala and took stock of the situation in Wayanad and assured all possible help from the central government. Pinarayi Vijayan earlier reviewed the situation at Kerala Disaster Management Authority headquarters. He said that all government agencies have joined the search and rescue operations. To aid the Wayanad landslide relief efforts, the Department of Information and Public Relations has opened district and state level media control rooms. The contact number for the helpline is 0483 2734 387. The state level control room located at the Secretariat can be reached at 0471 2327 628 or 251 8637. India's President, Vice President and Prime Minister have expressed grief over the loss of lives in massive landslides in Wayanad. Taking to social media platform X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote him, "Distressed by the landslides in parts of the region, Wayanad, my thoughts are with all those who have lost their loved ones and prayers with those injured. Rescue operations are currently underway to assist all those affected. I spoke to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and also assured all possible help from the centre in the wake of the prevailing situation there. Unquote. The Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia sum of 2 lakh rupees from Prime Minister National Relief Fund for the next of kin of those deceased in the landslides in parts of Wayanad. The injured would be given 50,000 rupees. Further, the Tamil Nadu government has also announced a 5 crore rupees relief package for the state of Kerala. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin assured that Tamil Nadu government will provide all necessary assistance to Kerala. Orders have been issued to immediately dispatch a rescue team led by 2 senior IAS officers from Tamil Nadu to assist the Kerala government in conducting rescue and relief operations in the affected areas. All right, on to London now. 2 children were killed in a deadly stabbing incident in Britain's Southport on Monday. Police described it as a ferocious attack at a Taylor Swift-themed dance and yoga workshop. My colleague Stuart Smith is in London. He takes it forward from me here, gives us more on the story and other stories making headlines around the world. So, Stuart, Taylor Swift has herself reacted on this horrific incident?
Yes, in a seaside town in northwest England, 5 children and 2 adults remain in critical condition after that deadly stabbing in Southport on Monday. 3 girls, it's been confirmed now, were killed in the knife attack that took place at a Taylor Swift-themed dance and yoga workshop at a community centre for children. They were just 6, 7 and 9 years old. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. Police say the motivation for the attack remains unclear, but it was not being treated as terror-related. On Tuesday, British Interior Minister Yvette Cooper visited the scene of the attack and laid flowers as a tribute to the victims. She's expected to make a statement in the House of Commons later today. Meanwhile, US singer Taylor Swift spoke of her horror and said she was completely in shock. In a social media post, she said, "The horror of yesterday's attack in Southport is washing over me continuously, and I'm just completely in shock. These were just little kids at a dance class. I am at a complete loss for how to ever convey my sympathies to these families." The UK Deputy Prime Minister and Housing Secretary Angela Rayner is expected to unveil an overhaul of planning rules as Labour seeks to clear a path to building 1.5 million homes in 5 years. Rayner says that delivering social and affordable houses at scale is her #1 priority. She, however, added the planning system should be a launch pad rather than a millstone dragging down the housing market. The overhaul will be announced before MPs leave for summer recess. The political landscape in Venezuela has plunged into chaos following the recent presidential election. Tension has risen in anti-government protests in Caracas over the disputed election results. Here's that report.
Venezuelans have taken to the streets after the Electoral Authority officially declared President Nicolas Maduro the winner of country's presidential election that the opposition says was marred by fraud. Thousands of protesters took to the streets of Caracas and showed their rage by burning barricades, blocked roads and banged pots and pans in various neighborhoods, accusing Maduro of fraud. The spokesperson of United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Stéphane Dujarric, said that Guterres called for complete transparency in Venezuela's election. The UN chief called on political leaders and their supporters for moderation and said all electoral disputes should be addressed and resolved peacefully. Amid protests, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said that his government knows how to deal with the anti-government protests.
We have been following all the acts of violence promoted by the extreme right. I can tell the people of Venezuela that if they have done harm, we are acting. We already know this movie. So once more, along with the civil, military and police union, we are acting. We already know how they operate.
Estamos actuando.
Meanwhile, 9 Latin American leaders have expressed profound concern and called for a full review of Venezuela's election results. Bureau Report, TD India.
'TD India'
'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India' 'TD India'
Tensions between Israel and Lebanon have risen since Saturday's rocket strike, which killed 12 children as they played football in a town in Israel's Golan Heights. Israeli drones struck a remote road in southern Lebanon, underscoring tensions as Prime Minister Netanyahu promised a harsh response to the rocket strike. Video footage showed a crowd of Druze residents gathering in objection to Netanyahu's visit, some shouting in dissent. The United States is leading a diplomatic dash to deter Israel from striking Lebanon's capital, Beirut, in response to the attack. The White House has defended Israel's right to respond to the Golan strike, but asserted that nobody wanted a broader war. Israel and the US have blamed Hezbollah for the rocket strike, though the group has denied responsibility. Germany strongly condemned the strike and called it intolerable. It also stressed the importance of de-escalation in the region. Meanwhile, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called on Israel not to fall into the trap of retaliation, expressing her concerns about the situation in Lebanon.
I'm very concerned about what is happening in Lebanon, about the risk of regional escalation, whereas it looked like there might be glimmers. And that's also something that needs to be evaluated. Every time we seem to be a little bit closer to the possibility of a ceasefire, something happens. It means that there are different regional players aiming for escalation and always aiming to force Israel to react. I also say this to urge Israel not to fall into this trap.
With the ongoing crisis near the Israel-Lebanon border, multiple nations are leading efforts to contain escalation. Iran's new president, Masoud Pezeshkian, has warned Israel against attacking Lebanon. Pezeshkian, who is all set to swear in, was meeting Palestinian leaders and Lebanon's Hezbollah in Tehran. Iran has warned Israel against what it called any new adventure in Lebanon after Saturday's attack. Hezbollah has denied any responsibility for the strike. The men's triathlon at the Paris Olympics will not go ahead as planned on Tuesday as pollution levels in the Seine remain too high. The race was postponed until Wednesday at 8:45 GMT, immediately after the women's event, which is scheduled for 8 a.m. that day. The move has dealt a blow to organisers and left athletes facing more uncertainty. Organisers had previously said they were confident water quality would improve in time for the race after heavy rains last Friday and Saturday dirtied the river. Adding to the risk of another postponement, France's State Weather Service has forecast a risk of thunderstorms on Tuesday evening and overnight. That's it from me here in London. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Stuart. Stuart Smith joining us all from London. You're watching DD India Global, still to come on the show. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni seeks better terms for Italian firms in China as she aims to reset trade ties with Beijing. And second medal for India at the Paris Olympics as the pair of Manu Bhaker and Sarabjot Singh bagged bronze medal in 10-meter air pistol mixed team event.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Global. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Russia's Navy is carrying out its planned exercises involving most of its fleet in the Arctic and Pacific Oceans. The Navy is also conducting drills in the Baltic and Caspian Seas. The drills, including 20,000 personnel and 300 ships, are aimed at testing the readiness and capabilities of the Navy at all levels. Russia's military said that the drills will include over 300 combat exercises, including practicing the use of anti-aircraft missiles, artillery and anti-submarine weapons. Since launching an offensive on Ukraine in February 2022, Russia has conducted numerous military exercises on its own or with other countries, including China or South Africa. In the past 2 months, Russia has also conducted a series of mobile nuclear missile launcher drills and tactical nuclear weapons deployment exercises. It has also increased military training with Belarus, which borders both Russia and Ukraine, conducting a series of comprehensive drills. Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong held a meeting with South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Tae-yul on Tuesday to discuss matters including North Korea and bilateral cooperation for regional peace. Australia's Foreign Minister said that the recent defence deal between North Korea and Russia was destabilising and was risky for the world after she visited the tense Panmunjom border village in the demilitarised zone separating the two Koreas. Nationwide mourning is being observed on Tuesday in Bangladesh over quota reform protest deaths. The decision was taken at a cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Cabinet Secretary Mohammad Mehboob Hussain said everyone will wear black badges and prayers will be offered in mosques and temples. Internet services have been restored in the country. Earlier on Monday, the bodyguard Bangladesh intensified security measures across the country, particularly in key areas of Dhaka, as nearly 150 people were killed during the violence. And next we take a look at what else is making news around the world. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is in China to boost cooperation and reset trade ties. Meloni, making her first trip to China as Prime Minister, said that Italy wants to work on removing obstacles for their products to have access in the Chinese market. The issue of electric mobility was also among one of the topics that was included in the Memorandum of Industrial Cooperation between Italy and China. A team of Italian researchers have developed a dog-shaped robot, Vero, to tackle the problem of cigarette butts on their beaches. The robot uses artificial intelligence to identify cigarette butts and suck them up with vacuum cleaner attachments on each foot as it walks along. In a novel step, the Singapore government has approved a list of 16 insects safe
on their menu.
Safe for consumption, including crickets and grasshoppers. A restaurant has since started putting insects on its menu for customers to try and taste. New York's famous auction house Sotheby's is holding a sports week featuring a sports-themed auction titled Altitude Capsule Collection. This showcases 23 items of famous athletes, including a Diego Maradona jersey from the 1986 World Cup, Florence Griffith Jones running sneakers, a Rafael Nadal tennis racket, among others. The auction will close on the 2nd of August. And some updates from India now. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today highlighted the government's vision for a developed India, Viksit Bharat. Replying to the budget debate in the lower house of parliament, the minister said that the budget has not given any lesser allocation to any sector compared to last year. She added that the government aims for a fiscal deficit below 4.5% by 2025-26.
I had promised in this House 21-22 that the government would endeavour to attain fiscal deficit to GDP level below 4.5% by the year 25-26, from an unprecedented high of 9.2% in 2020-2021. We have kept completely to the trajectory projected. We have not deviated from it. We are complying by that fiscal deficit trajectory given by me. Even today, you see that we've gotten close to the 4.6. Actually, this year, we have clearly given 4.9 as the fiscal deficit. So we are keeping our word on that.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman added that India continues to be the fastest growing economy in the world.
India's exceptional post-pandemic economic recovery to become the fastest growing economy over the last 3 years is truly magnificent And I thank every citizen, the middle class, the entrepreneurs, the farmers, marginal workers, traders, everyone who I've mentioned, I've not mentioned, deserve big gratitude, a word of thanks from all of us, sir, because of their toil and hard work and belief that they have to bring up the situation for their families to be better, has resulted in India becoming the fastest growing economy.
Earlier, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the inaugural session of Journey Towards Viksit Bharat, a post-Union Budget 2024-25 conference in New Delhi. Addressing the session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi stressed that the day is not far when India will become the third largest economic power in the world. The Indian Prime Minister said that India's fiscal prudence is a role model for the world.
2013-14 में जब पिछली सरकार का आखिरी बजट आया था, डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी के सरकार का लास्ट बजट, वो 16 लाख करोड़ रुपए का था, 16 लाख करोड़। आज हमारी सरकार में ये बजट 3 गुना बढ़कर 48 लाख करोड़ रुपया पहुंच गया है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that their main aim and main challenge was to revive the economy, which was derailed by the fragile 5 crisis and massive scams running into lakhs of crores of rupees. The Indian Prime Minister also said that capital expenditure, CapEx, has grown 5-fold in the last 9 years.
2004 में यूपीए सरकार की शुरुआत हुई और यूपीए सरकार के पहले बजट में कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर करीब 90,000 करोड़ रुपए था, 90,000 करोड़ रुपीस। 10 साल सरकार चलाने के बाद यानी 2014 में यूपीए सरकार का 10वां वर्ष था, अपने कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर का बजट 2 लाख करोड़ रुपए, 2 लाख करोड़ रुपए तक पहुंचा पाई थी। और आज कैपेक्स 11 लाख करोड़ रुपए से भी ज्यादा है।
Over 1,000 participants from industry, government, think tanks attended this session in New Delhi. And on to some action from the Paris Olympics now. India's star shooters Manu Bhaker and Sarabjot Singh backed India's second bronze medal in 10-meter air pistol mixed team event. With this, Manu Bhaker became the first athlete in the history of independent India to win 2 medals in a single Olympics edition. It was Norman Pritchard who bagged 2 silver medals in the 1900 Olympics edition. The Indian pair of Manu Bhaker and Sarabjot Singh defeated the Koreans 16-10. Manu Bhaker earlier won the bronze medal in the 10-meter air pistol event. Sarabjot's performance was also notable. He had lost out on an individual final spot and finished 9th on account of firing 1 less in a 10 on the opening day of the games. Each team member was allowed to fire a single shot in 50 seconds. The team with the highest combined score of each round was awarded 2 points. A tie in a particular round would have seen the teams splitting their points. The first side to have reached 16 points won. So India won by 16-10. President of India Draupadi Murmu congratulated Manu Bhaker and Sarabjot Singh for winning bronze medal. In a tweet, President Murmu said, and I quote, "Manu Bhaker has created history, becoming the first woman shooter from India to win 2 medals in the same Olympic Games. She has done us immensely proud. I wish her and Sarabjot Singh many more laurels in the future." And talking of Prime Minister Narendra Modi extending his congratulations, he wrote, "Our shooters continue to make us proud." He wrote this on X. He wrote, "Congratulations to Manu Bhaker and Sarabjot Singh for winning the bronze medal in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team event at the Olympics. Both of them have shown great skills and teamwork. India is incredibly delighted." For Manu, he wrote that this is a second consecutive Olympic medal showcasing her consistent excellence and dedication. #cheer for Bharat. Yes, we are all cheering for Bharat for many more medals to come in the future. That's it in this edition of DD India Global. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles. Facebook, X, that's Twitter, and Instagram at DD India Live. And for those on the go, you can catch all the latest news and updates from India and the world on our DD India mobile app. So we will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from my entire team here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.